us. Madam, what inspired you to make this film?
Okay, I'll keep this short because most people don't want to hear someone ramble on about something that they just, endured. Okay, basically, long back when I was writing this thing, everything that I wrote was pretty trivial and was quite meaningless. And I mean, there were so many things happening in the world that I didn't really understand and I couldn't really relate to at a direct level. So I tried to relate to them, which is what this is essentially. None of us can really understand the pain of being, in a war-ravaged region, or being chased out of your own house, or trying to deal with basic threats to your life and threats to your family, things like that. So I tried to extrapolate that to my situation, and everything I got was absurd. The death squad that I could think of was my ex-girlfriends, none of them are here. That they tried to kill me. Stabby, where are you? No, Sabina. Okay, so that became the example, or that's what the abstraction became for these, ex-girlfriends became the death squad. An old teacher or an old lady who you have ambiguous feelings towards, you don't necessarily like, who has pushed you around in the past, she became representative of the treatment of old people in these countries that you often hear about. You read about them in the papers, how they are just slowly removing the old people from, I don't want to say the names, I mean everybody knows, you literally have to pick up a globe and you spin it around and you put your finger there and somebody's pushing someone else down. Someone's doing something evil to someone else. So it's pretty easy to identify what I'm talking about or where this is based. So basically it's the confusion that caused. I couldn't really relate to it at a direct level, so it had to be an abstraction, it had to be satirical, it had to be, I had to distance myself from it a certain amount, and that's why it was laughable. If you didn't laugh at what was happening, you should please laugh at the character, he's a loser.
Why did you actually act and direct? How was it? Was it difficult?
Should I not?
What?
Okay, basically the actor had to be someone who we could treat like a complete bitch. And bring him in whenever we needed. Come and dump this again. Where are you? That kind of stuff. So I could not treat anybody else like that. So it was me. That's the short answer. Long answer? Well, no, there's no long answer. Why I did this was essentially it would have been very difficult to firstly explain everything at such short notice, because the time limits that we were working with and the resources that we had, the constraints. Okay, let me put it this way. When you look at an indie film in Singapore, the average budget is between 125 to 150,000. We were working with a sixth or a fifth of that. So we had really, really strong, really, really compelling time and money issues. So to be able to luxuriously explain a scene or set up a scene for an actor and give him his motivation and make him feel everything would have really been challenging and would have really, really set things back a significant amount of time. So that's one of the reasons that this, of course, I feel for the character, and yeah, that is a little bit like me, the guy, the loser.
Okay, interesting. Anyone from the floor have any questions?
Why did you stick around?
Yeah.
The smart people left in the beginning. There was a couple. What were the names? We'll track them down.
Anyone at all? What's next?
Okay, immediately for us making films, definitely we're trying to secure some funding for our next feature, which is going to be a bigger budget film. Yes, finally. And we will have, everything that goes into a film, hopefully. And we will pay our actors this time. Thank you everyone who acted in this. And if anybody has a problem with the acting or anything, I'm to blame. Please don't blame anybody. The actors really, I would like to have you give them a round of applause. For trusting me to even point a camera at you and not make you look like complete idiots. But I did that to myself as well, so okay, we're all in the same boat. I'm rambling now. You want to say something? A question?
Okay, I'll ask if you guys have no questions. What?
Music was awesome.
Thank you, thanks a lot. Thanks, that's recorded by myself and Sammy.
Maybe you can tell us more about how the recording process works and the difficulties you face as the audio guy.
Sure. I'll keep it short. No, I've got a band here that I've been working with for a couple of years. We go by the moniker Sid and a Self-Esteem. You might have seen us play around at places like Esplanade and stuff. This project had completely different requirements. The music is not exactly stuff I would be playing on stage either. Not necessarily, not entirely. So a lot of it was just me, trying to put something together, calling him and say, "Is that cool?" And his reaction would usually be a little, more than what I think it would be. And then I'd tell him, "No, it's not cool." And so after a point when I felt comfortable, I dragged in, the guy who plays drums with me, Sammy, who play the drums. Again, it's a low resource movie, low on budget, so we just booked a studio somewhere, just got him in, just for the drums that we had to pay by the hour, just go in, record, get it done, bring it out, mix it. If we tell you the names of the software on which we recorded and mixed it, you'll probably have a good laugh. But it's not sound recorder, it's not Microsoft, but it's really indie stuff, independent, just to state it plainly, it's really independent, the most straightforward way you can think of. A lot of bands come up with albums these days, a lot of bands can record and write with really low budgets like that, so that's the pattern we follow too.
Any questions? You, yes.
You guys said that it took about a year to produce the entire movie. I'm interested in knowing if you guys had the script ready before that. Secondly, during the year, what amount of time you actually spent on the script? Weekends?
It's letting me know. I would say planning for this started sometime January of last year. January, late January, when Mother was developing the script review. A lot of our they want me to use the mic. A lot of our people that we worked with before from our theatre days to come in and read scripts and develop it further. So that was January. We shot in May, and you're right, we used only weekends. And 2008 was last year. So we shot over 10 shooting days, and they were all weekends. So the schedule was, I finished work at 5:30 on Fridays. I'd go up, pick up the equipment truck, and we would work all night Friday, sleep for maybe 3 hours, work all night Saturday, sleep for another 3 hours, work all night Sunday, drop the truck off at 7 in the morning, and then go straight to work. So that was the shooting schedule, and we did that for 3 weekends continuously. And we still kept our jobs, surprisingly. Some of us did well too, actually. And when it came to post-production, well, we spent about 2-3 months promoting the film as much as we could, because as far as post-production is concerned, it is expensive. Nobody sees how much goes into it in terms of money, but it is extremely expensive to get good quality product. And to help us with that, we spent a few months trying to promote the film, see if if it was a good time. And unfortunately, that's when everybody ran out of money. And that is when this truly became an indie project, where we invested in the equipment that we could. We added on things to our studio room. People who come to our house over the years would know AV8 helped us out a lot with the cameras. Without them, we couldn't have done this. So thank you so much. Keetan is somewhere here. Thank you so much. AV8 gave us the cameras. They helped us out a lot in terms of giving us direction. This is the first feature film, and if we went and told somebody in the industry that we shot our first feature film on HD, they would laugh at us. And we could do it only because AV8 helped us out. So thank you so much. So it was a learning process technically, as well as in many other ways, because it is not easy to shoot on complete digital. It's not easy to do a lot of things. The amount of things that could go wrong. So I think sometime September onwards last year, we pretty much worked every day. We come back from work at about 8 o'clock, and I've lost count of how many months we've spent with 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep, and even less of food. So it was the three of us alternatively locked up in one room using that one computer that we'd set up. So yeah, it wasn't just weekends. It was almost every day, all the time. And this was a time that was difficult for everybody, not just us, for anybody to keep their jobs, to keep their concentration up. And I think that was a big challenge for me.